what's good, guys? It's Jeffrey. Welcome to my brand new YouTube video. In today's video, I'll be talking about my top 10 favorite animated movies of all time. These movies, most of them are from my childhood, and some are recent animated movies. Started off, number 10. The Powerpuff Girls Movie. Yep, this movie is one of my guilty pleasure films. This was one of my favorite movies from when I was in like kindergarten and preschool. Yep, the Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, I know what you're all thinking. Why does he love this movie? How is this movie any good? Well, some of y'all have not seen this movie because this movie was a box office flop. Hardly anybody saw this movie in theaters. Most people saw it on VHS. But I was one of the lucky ones to see it in theaters. Let me tell you, this movie is an animated classic. So good. I love this movie. This movie has heart. It's one of those kiddie feel-good movies that I really love. The action in it is so intense for a family movie. So much action in this movie. In the Act 2 and Act 3 of the movie. Well, there's some action in Act 1 of the movie. But Act 3, oh man, you'll lose it. You're like, this is a lot of action for a Powerpuff Girls movie. Yes, it is. Yeah, I love this movie. So good. If you watched the show and have not seen the movie, go see the movie. This movie is about the origin film, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. Go see this movie if you've not seen it. It's on YouTube, if you have not seen it. Or you can order the VHS or DVD on Amazon. It's on there. Ask people if they've seen this movie. No, I've not seen it. I didn't even know this movie existed. Alright, number 9. Most of you have seen this movie. If you have not, what is wrong with you? It is Shrek II. Most of y'all know what this movie is about. Shrek and Fiona and Donkey go to far, far away and meet Shrek's in-laws. Yep, the in-laws. And it turns out the in-laws don't like Shrek. And so Shrek tries to go to a fairy godmother so he can turn himself into a beautiful prince. But what do you know? Prince is trying to marry Fiona instead. Yep. Because Fiona was supposed to marry the prince, not Shrek. Why do I like this movie? Well, this movie is hilarious. It is the best Shrek movie ever. It's better than Shrek 1. I'm sorry if you like Shrek 1, but this movie is better than Shrek 1. It's so good. One of my favorite childhood movies of all time. Well, childhood animated movies. So good. Shrek 2 is amazing. One of the best animated films ever. Number 8. Okay, you all are gonna be like, seriously? Why is this on your list? Pokemon, the movie, 2000. This movie came out in summer of 2000, like it says in the title. And it's the second Pokemon movie. I'm sure that most of y'all that are Pokemon fans saw this movie when you're younger. This movie is so good. It's an amazing anime movie. When I saw this in theaters when I was younger, it's like, holy cow. The 3 bird Pokemon are so amazing. Lugia, well, Lugia isn't one of the 3 bird Pokemon, but there's Moltres, there's Zapdos. Forgot the other one. Oh well, it'll come back to me. There's Lugia, the beast of the sea. And there's this collector guy that tries to collect all 4 birds so that he can call himself the Pokemon collector of these bird Pokemon. When these 4 Pokemon leave their spots, well, their islands, total destruction on the earth commences. And so Ash has to bring peace to these three birds so it can stop the total destruction of the planet. It's the plot of the movie, and Ash is known as the chosen one. Ash. Why do I like this movie again? Well, it was one of my favorite movies from my childhood, and even to this day when I watch it, I have a blast. So that's why it's in my top 10 favorite movies, animated movies. Number 7, Treasure Planet. Another movie that anybody hardly ever watched in theaters. It was a box office flop as well, but I saw it in theaters when none of y'all saw it. Hardly any of y'all saw it in theaters. Yes. This movie is so amazing. One of the most underrated Disney classics. Yep. Saw the trailer for this movie on the DVD of Peter Pan Return to Neverland in 2002. Yep, this movie came out in November 2002, if you're wondering when this movie came out. This movie is so amazing. I don't know why people didn't like it. It's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. So good. And this movie is based on the book called Treasure Island, but this is Treasure Island in space. And this guy named, whatever his name is, the main character, yeah, him. His name is Jim Hawkins, right? Yeah, Jim. He has to go find this treasure map to find Treasure Planet, so he can get treasure and all. And he's like a troubled kid, and he wants to go to Treasure Planet. That was his dream, to go to Treasure Planet. And he thought it was all a fairy tale, but it's real. And yes, he found Treasure Planet in the movie. Yeah. Number 6 is Pokemon, the first movie. Let me tell you, I saw this movie like 50 times when I was a toddler. This movie came out when I was like 2 years old, and I remember the whole thing. And every time I watch this movie, it brings me on nostalgia trips. That's how much I love this movie. This movie defines my childhood. This movie was so epic. And I love Mewtwo in this movie. So amazing. This movie came out in 1999, if you're wondering. In case you're one of those younger kids that didn't have a chance to see Pokemon back in the day. And yes, this movie is on Amazon and it's on YouTube. Go watch it if you have not seen Pokemon the first movie or any of the other Pokemon movies. Pokemon movies are so good. The first 3 Pokemon movies are amazing. But the third I didn't really like that much, but I like the first and second Pokemon movies. And why do I like Pokemon the movie? Well, why do I like Pokemon the first movie? Well, I like the movie for, I like the scene when Ash dies and then the Pokemon cry and bring him back to life. Yeah, Ash tries to stop the Pokemon clones from hurting the real Pokemon, because Mewtwo cloned all those Pokemon. Yep. Mewtwo, man. He's awesome villain. Number 5, Zootopia. The only movie on the list that is not from my childhood. I saw this movie when I was like 18. Yeah. I was 18 when I saw this movie. But anyway, this has to be one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. The plot was so good. I love all the characters in it. Judy Hopps and Nick, awesome characters. Yeah, and the animation in it was on par. Very good animation in this movie. Number 4 is a very awesome Pixar cult classic, Toy Story 2. This is another movie that I saw about 50 times on VHS when I was a kid. I love this movie. Woody and Buzz in this movie, oh man, Jesse, nostalgia trips, man. Yeah, the plot was really cool. Do I even remember the plot? Let's see. There's a buyer that wants to buy Woody, and he's a collector of all the Woody Roundup game dolls. And he tries to send them off to a museum so that they can stay in the museum. And Woody wants that. And Jesse wants that life for Woody, but Woody wants to go back to Andy. Yeah. And Jesse, she was owned by somebody else before. And she doesn't want Woody to be owned by anybody else either. And so the toys had to go rescue Woody. That's the movie. What a great movie it was. Love that movie. Number 3, Aladdin. You all should know the plot of this movie, so I'm not even going to discuss it. Just discuss it. Aladdin. Man, what a great movie. Robin Williams he did a really good job with the genie. What a great movie, y'all. Right. Number 2, The Lion King. Yes, there's a young cub named Simba, and he wants to be like his father someday. And his uncle kills his father, and then he gets exiled out of out of Pride Rock, out of the Pride Lands. And then he grows up. We all know what happens. I'm not even going to discuss this plot, but anyway, this movie is an amazing anime movie. One of the best Disney animated films of all time. And one of the best movies in the Disney Renaissance, from Little Mermaid all the way to Tarzan. Yeah. Some good movies in the Disney Renaissance. But man, oh man, the animation in this film, gorgeous. The facial expressions on these animals, man, so good. But the live action movie couldn't do facial expressions really good. That's why hardly anybody liked the live action. But the original animated film, amazing film. Live action, meh. Number 1 animated film of all time on my list is The Incredibles. This movie, to this day, blows me away with how Pixar did the animation in this movie. Because it's the first movie that they use humans in it. Well, Toy Story did have some humans in it, but they weren't animated on par with The Incredibles, because The Incredibles had amazing animation with their human characters. And it's the first action movie ever. There's so much action in The Incredibles, man. I was like, dang. Pixar went all out with this movie. It's one of their best to this day. I love this movie. Love it, love it, love it. The Incredibles, an awesome family of superheroes. The plot is very intriguing. Yeah, that is my list of favorite animated films of all time. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. There'll be more videos to come. See y'all. Take care now.